Hi, my name is Eva Schulz, and I'm here with Christiane Amanpour, one of the most distinguished reporters in the world, who has spent decades reporting from some of the most hard crises and conflicts in the world, and then at some point switched to interviewing the most important and powerful people of the world, a lot of politicians we now talk to on your show. And I'm wondering, politicians who are like, if you report in the field, that's very different interviews that you conduct than from the politicians that you have now on your show. And politicians who are still in office or in certain official positions, they are the, I think, hardest and driest to interview, because they can't talk straight from the heart, but rather through some kind of diplomatic filter that they have to use. So what is your trick to get a glimpse behind these filters?
Well, first of all, it is because I've been in the field for so long that I bring that to my studio interviews, and I'm still doing it, actually. I mean, I'm going to Ukraine, I've been in Afghanistan, I've been in Ukraine for this war. I'm still going out into the field. So I think the people who I sit down and talk to, the leaders who are making decisions about these subject matters, know that I know, that they know, that I know, that they know. Do you see what I'm saying? So I think that I'm able to crack the surface a little bit more, because I think I probably come to it with some real, in the field experience. So I'm not asking them questions just in theory or having done research by reading. It's because I've been there and I've talked to people on the ground, but also a wide variety of other leaders, so I can cross-check and put questions. And I think, if you can just jump in and prevent them from going on and on and on and sort of interject a little bit, but not too much, then it produces some more dynamism, because then they have to respond.
And you've seen so many powerful politicians come and go over the time. What, in your view, distinguishes good leaders from others?
I think good leaders are those who don't play the fear card, who don't play the hate card, who don't go to people's most base instincts. I think good leaders are those who have a good mix of optimism and reality, pragmatism. So they're not Pollyanna, they're not just, talking about, rose-colored glasses, but they're talking about things that can be done and trying to build people's belief in what's possible. So I think that is what good leadership is about. It's about really trying to make the world a better place by engaging all the citizens and all the stakeholders and getting consensus by being able to tell the story of the positive and the possible. And too few leaders do that now, because the press is geared, I think, and the algorithms are geared to focus on the negative, on the conflict, more on the hate side and on the fear side. And that, I think, is a shame, and that's basic bad leadership.
And those leaders that are around now that you've been talking to here at the conference, for example, they are shaping a world for younger generations, like the Generation Z. And I would be very interested in your view on this generation. Like, how are they going to shape our world in the future?
Well, I think this generation, I do believes in the possible. Now, I think that they are the ones, and I know that they are the ones who are inheriting what we're leaving them, and they're not happy with a lot of it. For instance, climate. Let's just take climate. For instance, equality. For instance, women's rights and women's role in all sectors of the public sphere. And they are leading this battle for equity on all these issues. And I was talking to Ursula von der Leyen today, obviously the president of the EU Commission, and also the Prime Minister of Finland, Sanna Marin, and they both said, women are 50% of the world, and therefore women can help, and especially young women, Gen Z, can help bring everybody to the table, including young men. And that, I think, is really, really important, because often women and girls have a different view, not so much a zero-sum game view, like I have to win and that means you have to lose. They're much more, in my experience, about building consensus. And I think that's what attracts and mobilizes young people right now. And you can see it in the way people are voting and the things that matter to them.
And sorry, how can a consensus-oriented generation then get into positions of power?
By voting, by going out there and having good ideas that are designed to, yes, some of them demand some sacrifice, some of them demand being us to understand that we have to change some elements of our lifestyle, let's say for the climate, but that it's not a catastrophe, it's not a crisis, it's not bad, it's actually a good thing. But there's no substitution for voting. People who go out and vote make a difference in what they vote for and in who they elect. And that is, for me, absolutely grassroots democracy, and there's no alternative to it. And also by having a strong civil society that's underpinned by strong leaders and sort of, the NGO types around them, strong press, strong judiciary, strong all those things that make for a solid democracy. And the last thing I would say is we have to get to a point where we demand that fake news and disinformation and hate and conflict are not what is fed into people's social media by the algorithms. And I do believe that the tech people still have a huge responsibility to bear because they are corrupting and faking the public debate. I do not believe that they are in touch with the majority view. They're in touch with the minority view that is a view that is attracted and turned on by hate and division and all of those other things, and fear-mongering.
Okay, I nevertheless take vote as your last appeal because that's the much better closing word. So thank you so much for taking
Vote
the time.
and know what the truth is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.